Hi there. So, I figure while I work on my big academic project, to celebrate reaching 1,000 subscribers, I would just do something a little more casual. And what's more casual than bitching about your old job? So, as I said in the first video that I did, I was probably going to make a part 2, so here it is. This is my experience working at Tuesday morning, part 2. Now, just really quickly, before I get into telling all these different stories about the job, just a reminder, I'm doing a Q&A video as well to celebrate reaching 1,000 subscribers. I have a video that I did to announce the Q&A. You can ask questions on there, or I have a community post. Just ask anywhere on either of those. You can ask me anything as long as it's not too personal. Long as you're not trying to find out my fucking credit card number or anything like that, you can ask it. So just be sure to ask some questions. I've gotten a few, but it's been a little dry. I'm leaving it up for a few weeks so I can try to accumulate more, but just a reminder, if you'd like to, ask me any questions, now's your time. Alright, let's bitch about Tuesday morning. So scheduling at this store was kind of weird. Unless you worked the truck day, inventory, or some other arrangement, like if it was a Sunday sale or you had like a prior arrangement, so you said, oh, maybe if I work open to close this day, will you give me this day off? That kind of thing. Unless it was anything like that, everybody got 4-hour shifts. Maybe 5-hour if they opened. But it was never more than like 4 or 5 hours unless it was a very specific reason as to why you were working more. And it worked in some people's favor. It worked against them in some ways. For me, it both worked for me because, I was in college. I had a bunch of my classes in the morning, so I was just able to get some quick work in after. But it also fucked me over in a lot of ways because I would go to school, then go to work, and not get home until like fucking 7:30, almost 8 o'clock at night sometimes, and then have to be up until 1, 2 in the fucking morning doing all of my reading and essays and presentations and shit like that. So it worked both in people's favor and it fucked them over in many, 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 many ways. It was basically a legal way to make everybody part-time so that the company could avoid paying benefits and giving them raises and doing shit like holiday pay because only the store manager was full-time. I could have been full-time as the assistant manager, but, I was in college, so I couldn't really have like this open availability where I can work fucking 5 days in a row, 8 hours or whatever the fuck, because I had classes, I had homework, I had a lot of shit to do. But yeah, it was basically a way for them to completely fuck over paying anything extra. Inventory, the last inventory we did was on Martin Luther King Day. Do you think we got paid extra? Hell fucking no. Do you think we got paid extra for working on the 4th of July or Memorial Day or Labor Day or fucking Christmas Eve? Hell fucking no. They were so fucking stingy with bonuses and holiday pay. Not even like the full-time store managers got that kind of shit. They didn't get holiday pay. They didn't get any of that shit. And as much as I fucking hate my old boss, I do think it's bullshit that, if he worked Christmas Eve or some other, federally recognized holiday and didn't get extra pay, it's bullshit. It really fucking is. And hell, when we returned after the initial shutdown, when we went back to work, do you think we got any extra COVID pay? Do you think we got any extra pay for, being right on the fucking front? We had food, but it's like, were we really an essential business? Most of the food we had was like candy and cookies and shit. There was some pasta and some soups and shit. Yeah, some actual food, but there was not nearly as much of that shit as there was just candy and all this sorts of junk food. So we went to work for basically no fucking reason other than to meet the consumerist needs of all these fucking Karens and these rich assholes, and we got nothing. No extra pay, not even like a one-time bonus. We got like certain like management people got like some kind of small severance bullshit when the store finally closed down, but other than that, nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing for coming back and working during COVID. So prior to the shutdown, the company had hardly sent any kind of PPE. I know there was shortages because people were buying fucking, disinfectant wipes and sanitizer and all that kind of shit by the bundle. I get it. But just, they made no effort. We had to make our own fucking hand sanitizer out of, like, my boss had to go, like, no, I don't think he bribed him, but he had to, like, really persuade the manager of the Dollar General that was in the same plaza to, like, save him a couple of tubes of aloe and some isopropyl alcohol so we could make our own fucking hand sanitizer for the time being. Because they didn't send us any sanitizer, gloves, masks, disinfectant wipes, Lysol, any of that kind of shit. They didn't send us any initially. Once we reopened, we got some of that stuff. We got a good chunk of that. But there was still one important thing missing that they didn't fucking give us. Temp scanners. Yeah, we had no means of taking people's temperature, customers or employees. We had this thing where, you had to check in like, okay, are you experiencing these symptoms? Are you not? Are you healthy? That kind of stuff. Standard stuff with, a pandemic going on. But it was all word of mouth because we had no way to actually verify whether or not they were healthy. If they had a temperature and shit like that, that's an easy way to be like, no, go home. But I part of me can't blame the people for if they did come in sick for still coming in because, this company wasn't gonna fucking. I know the state might have said they had to, but I'm pretty sure if they could avoid paying the people being gone because, they were sick, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't pay them, so I can understand why they came into work, but it's still just like we had no means of actually verifying whether or not employees were coming in sick or not. And it could have easily endangered a lot of fucking people. So customers were still pretty annoying, but now we had the added issue of trying to make sure they wore their masks, which wasn't normally a big deal. We did have one lady come in, she didn't wear a mask. My boss told her, ma'am, you need to wear a mask. And she said, oh, my doctor says I don't have to, so he told her she has to leave. And she left with little issue. I think she might have been kind of passive-aggressive about it, but she didn't cause a big scene. So I really never had anybody militantly against wearing the mask. Some people would complain about it, but they weren't like, oh, this isn't fucking China, this is America, I'm not going to wear a goddamn mask. We didn't have any of those kind of people, which was very, very good. I'm very glad I didn't have to deal with that kind of shit. But just, people were normally not bad about wearing the masks. Even if they were complaining, they still wore it. If they came in without a mask, we would ask them, sir, ma'am, do you have a mask? Do you need a mask? They would either just leave, no big deal, or they would go to their car and get one, or if we had any, extras laying around, we'd just give them one if they asked. No big deal. So thankfully, at least in terms of enforcing like mask mandates and whatnot, we didn't have much trouble. There was one lady, though, what was it, like the first week or so that we were back from the big shutdown, she comes up to us and asks, like, oh, do you guys sell masks? It's like, sorry, we don't have reusables, disposables, any of that kind of stuff. And she's like adjusted, like, oh, I need a new mask, this one's too tight, which, yeah, that sucks, but sorry, we can't really do anything about it. What was it, I think about an hour after she did that, she had come and gone, she left the store, and I was, like, sweeping or adjusting the shelves or some shit like that. Just some, mundane busy work. But I'm by the bathrooms, and what do I see in front of the customer bathroom? Her mask on the floor. Yeah, it was very, very pleasant. It was absolutely the best fucking thing I could have seen that day. I've had two theories about that. Either one is that when she was using the bathroom, maybe she stuck it in her purse or her pocket or something, and then it just fell out when she left, or she had like she had a second one and just didn't fucking say anything, put it on and then left the other one on the floor, or she just threw the other one on the floor and left without, wearing a mask at all. All of those are kind of shitty. So it's like, guess who had to pick up the fucking used mask? Me. Yeah, that was fun. Oh, and people were still doing disgusting shit, like leaving their used fucking napkins and tissues on the fucking shelves and whatnot, leaving us to have to pick it up. And we actually had to, like, after like the first couple of weeks, we stopped giving people the bathroom key. Just, one, so that it's one less thing that we had to try to fucking clean, and two, because some of these people, they would go in, they'd use the bathroom, they wouldn't fucking wash their hands, and then they'd give us back the key, so, we had to, every fucking 5 minutes we were already sanitizing, we didn't need to add to that fucking bullshit, destroying our fucking skin on our hands and whatnot. So it was just, there were still people doing, like, disgusting shit that just, you shouldn't do that when you're not in a fucking pandemic, but if you're doing it during a pandemic, you are, like, an extra special kind of douche. Okay, so we're past complaining about customers and the job itself. Let's look at their business practices. Let's see how stupid some of this company's business practices were. So this still kind of combines with just complaining about the job that I had to do itself, but this still reflects on their business practices. Every Wednesday, unless it was like bad weather or, we got like some news prior that it was going to be on a different day, every Wednesday was our truck day, where we'd get all the fucking merchandise and shit that we had to unload. And it was always a total crapshoot as to whether or not it was going to be a relatively easy day or a complete fucking mess. Because on average, trucks could be, 100 to 200 pieces. Not bad, but there are also a lot of times where we had like 300 to 400 pieces. And between like 4 or 5 people, it was still expected that we would get that shit done the same day. I mean, if we didn't get it done the same day, most of the time it was fine. Oh, there's a couple extra carts. We'll just do it in the morning. It's something for us to do. But it's still like annoying because we would get these manifests, right? And that would tell us how much in total is going to be on the truck, and just how much like how much of toys are going to get, how many candles, how many fucking picture frames, that kind of stuff. And often it was really fucking off. It was like wrong a lot of the times. Like it would say, oh, okay, so you're only going to get 2 boxes of bed pillows, but instead we'd get 8. Or, oh, you're only supposed to get like 200 things on your truck, and then we get like 350. So we're, not prepared because we don't have the room made, or we just don't have the people on to handle, a 350, 400 piece truck when they said before it was only going to be like 150, 200. So it's pretty fucking irritating. And then, on top of like the numbers being wrong, a lot of the time they would send repetitive merchandise in the sense that, okay, so let's say the store that I worked at, there was a point where like every section of bed pillows was full. All 8 sections were just fucking full. No more room. What would they do on truck? Send 4 more boxes, and then another 4 the next week, and then 6 the week after that. It's like, why? We already have so many fucking pillows. Wait until we've sold a bit out of them. I kind of get it because like, oh, well, you can just throw this in once you have the room. But it's like, it's either we top stocked them so they were really fucking high so people couldn't even reach them. We had to, grab the step stool and grab them. Or we just leave the boxes in the back room, taking up space, making it harder to unload truck or do, other shit in the back that required having that space. It was fucking stupid and it made no goddamn sense. They wouldn't just do it with bed pillows either. There was one point we had like a section of shower caddies and whatnot in like the bath section. And we got so many fucking shower caddies sent to us over the course of like a couple of weeks that we had to put them all on the top shelf along the entire side of the aisle. Not just above the section that had the shower caddies, the entire goddamn side of the aisle that had that kind of stuff. It's like, why? Why? They advertise like, oh, we have all these great deals and these cool products that, you can only get at certain stores. But you would just get the exact same shit over and fucking over. Like, that's false advertising if I've seen it before. And I mentioned before in the first video, they do the same thing for holiday merchandise. Like Christmas stuff, you'd get the same nutcrackers from the year before, the same gift boxes, the same cards, a lot of the same candy. It's just so repetitive. Halloween, the same jack-o'-lanterns, the same, like, witch statues or whatever, the same fucking just Halloween stuff in general. We got a lot of the same stuff every year, no matter what the holiday was. Christmas, Easter, Halloween, like fall time, harvest, whatever. It'd be all the same shit. Same with like the summertime. The exact same toys. All the same like fucking cooling towels and beach towels and whatnot. All the same ones. Or at least for the most part, the exact same ones that we had gotten years prior. If you enjoy that store, people act like it was like the best store ever because of their selection. If you enjoy that store, by all means, I'm not saying you can't, but like don't act like they have such a great selection and such great deals when it's so much of the same shit that they've just pushed like year after year. Fuck. Oh, there was something that I mentioned in the first video. Their promotion and their marketing was really fucking bad. Like, they don't have any TV ads, radio ads, billboards, YouTube ads, Facebook ads. I mean, they have a Facebook page, but I think at the time of recording this, it only has like 300,000 followers, and they don't buy ads. They do like no sort of actual like direct marketing. I think like, I'm sure there are some people on YouTube that are affiliated with them, being paid by them or some shit. But like there are people on YouTube, that do the haul videos or the shop with me videos. Oh, let's go see what's a Tuesday morning, or oh, look what I got at Tuesday morning. That kind of shit. And I'm sure, like I said, a few of them are like affiliated with the store, with the company. But a lot of those are just people doing it because that's what they want to do. So like their advertising comes from people that like don't get that many views overall and aren't even like paid by them. So they just kind of sit back and let the soccer moms try to advertise for them. But yeah. fucking Becky with 20,000 subscribers is really gonna increase the amount of people shopping at Tuesday morning when she shows them what she got from the fucking craft aisle. Yeah, great campaign. I mean, fuck, my store, the store that I worked at, didn't even have a sign like in the entrance of the plaza. There was one in the back entrance, but it was really small compared to the other stores. I mean, it was a big store for the plaza itself. When you come down the one strip to go into the parking lot, it's one of the first ones you see. And maybe that's why there wasn't one in the main entrance, but it still would have, helped. Fuck, I mean, they would do like the paper ads, like they'd send like flyers to people about the sales, but they phased that shit right out within like the first year that I was there. They were trying to rely solely on like emails and people following them on Facebook and shit. So they pretty much eliminated any real local advertising. They left that to us. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had like no PR team or just a very small one because they left all the fucking advertising to us. We wore the shirts, it was the fucking uniform. We had to wear the shirt that had the Tuesday morning logo on it and whatnot. And they would request that we ask every single customer, every time, even if they were regular, if they've been in a million fucking times, we gotta ask them for their email. Which is stupid. Because they were doing the paper flyers, but they kind of phased that out in favor of like the email stuff. Like we had these fucking physical rewards card too. It wasn't even a point system or anything. It was just a shit that helped them keep getting emails and was fucking stupid. But they made that a part of getting the emails. So that's how they tried to advertise, was having us pick up like people's emails. And it was so dumb. Because if you put in an email that's already in the system, it didn't register that you put one in, as a new one at least. So it's like, what's it doing for us? They didn't even do like any bullshit like, oh, if you get 200 emails in a week, we'll give you a raise or a bonus or even just a fucking pizza party, bullshit like that. None of it. Basically, it was like, yeah, we know we're already paying you minimum wage and you're already doing like a bunch of shit that you really don't even need to in your job description, but we're going to also make you our advertising people. Fuck you. They would try to push like a quota, like, oh no, you have to get emails. You have to get emails. If you're not getting emails, you're in trouble. So after like 6 months, I was just like, you know what? This is fucking stupid. And I would just like go on like school websites and pull up like the faculty list and just put their emails in, or go on like YouTube, search, oh, Lil Pump type beat, whatever. Start to look up like hip hop producers and put their emails in the fucking system. Or I would just go through my own inbox and, if there was like an email that I hadn't been in contact with in like 4 or 5 years, screw it. Put it in. You want this quota met? Here you go. I don't fucking care. You're not going to pay me any extra for actually getting genuine emails, so why should I even fucking bother? Okay, now we're going to get into the real meat of these stories. Let's talk about my manager. That piece of fucking shit. Yeah, so my old manager was a manipulative piece of shit. Like, when I first started there, he seemed to love me. He would say shit like, oh, I was the best worker that he's had in, like, a good while, and he would butter me up with fucking food, and for Christmas, he would get shit, like, not just like a $5 gift card, that would be part of it, but it'd be like, okay, here's a $5 gift card, and then some candy, and then a candle, and then some pajama pants, relatively inexpensive stuff, but just enough to make it look like he was like trying to put in the effort and be your friend. And then his true colors would just very slowly, they would start showing. Let's see, I was working truck one day. I think I'd only been working there like a month or two. And we had this display up front that was a specific brand of dishware, and we got a bunch on the truck, and I had the cart with that. So I put some more in the display, and it was already pretty full, so I figure, oh, there's room in the aisle. I'll put some in the aisle because there's more space, right? When he sees me putting it in the aisle, he just starts talking down to me like I'm fucking 2. He's like, what does that say? It's Chef, the brand. Where does it go? It's like, fuck you, dude. I'm just trying to fucking work out the space that we have. I don't want to overfill it and have a bunch of fucking shit fall down and get broken, you dumbass. Fuck you. Like, he would flip between, like, being a total asshole and trying to be your friend at, like, the snap of your fucking fingers. Like, he could be, like, telling you you're a piece of shit, and then 5 minutes later be trying to talk to you about, like, what he had for dinner or what he wants to have for dinner that night. Like, do you really think I want to talk to you right now, asshole, after you're just being such a fucking dick to me? Fuck you. It wasn't just the fucking employees that thought he was an asshole, too. There was, like, a whole section of customers that would actively try not to come in when he was there. I mean, there were others that, like, loved him, but that still says something when a good bunch of your fucking consumer base doesn't want to fucking be around you. I mean, he would, like, shit talk customers for reasons other if they're being really unreasonable or rude, like a fucking Karen, okay, yeah, shit talk them, they deserve it. But he would, like, he would say shit like, oh, this one fat bitch was trying to come in here the other day. It's like, really, dude? Or he'd be like, oh, look at that heifer over there. Like, what the fuck, man? What have they done to you? Okay, they're fat. You're not in the best shape either, you fucking chain-smoking asshole. How much fast food have you eaten this week? Every other fucking night he would say, like, oh, I want to get Popeyes, or I want to go get pizza. It's like, you're not in the best shape either, you fucking douche. What right do you have to call these women heifers? Like, what the fuck? And I've mentioned this before, but he was, like, vehemently against Trump while simultaneously saying all this, like, racist, misogynistic bullshit himself. Like, he would say he's not a liberal, but he was the fucking epitome of a fucking liberal. Like, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck, and you're a fucking duck, man. He actually fucking called me a Marxist-Leninist, a communist, a Trump supporter. Because he did it behind my back, of course. One of my coworkers had to tell me. But he did this. He called me a fucking Trump supporter because while he was saying some bullshit about, like, Hillary, I mentioned how I don't like either of them. I don't like Hillary or Trump. And he was like, oh, Benghazi. Like, relevance? But all right. But somehow that made me a Trump supporter. He said some shit like, oh, if I'd have known he was a Trump supporter, I would have never hired him. It's like, I'm not. I'm a communist, you fucking idiot. I am against the entire fucking status quo that he represents. He would often complain that, like, he lived in the building, even though he spent, like, 40% of his time doing just fuck all. Like, scrolling through his phone, or sitting in the office, just shooting the shit with a manager at one of the other stores for, like, an hour. Or he'd go out and have, like, a smoke break every fucking 20 minutes. And then that smoke break itself would be like 20, 30 minutes. Because, I'm just going out for a quick puff. But then you see him fucking talking with, like, people walking by. Or one of the guy who runs the fucking pawn shop that was next door for fucking 20 minutes. Like, yeah, you can take all these smoke breaks. But if I want to, go sit down for 10 minutes because I came here after fucking school and need a little bit of a break. Oh, that's a big fucking problem. But you can take 6 fucking smoke breaks in 2 hours. Yeah. Great, you fucking asshole. He tried to tell me that telling me to have my girlfriend apply to work there was like bending over backwards. Like, fucking how? She doesn't want to fucking work there. You think after all, like, the shit that I have told her about the job itself, the district manager, the customers, and my actual manager especially, that she wants to work there? Fuck no. He loved to call himself a good boss. Like, I don't care what anyone says. I'm a damn good boss. But, you ask most, if not all of my former coworkers, and they will say that he was a prick. Not a good boss, but a prick. Like, there was one time when I was still in college. This was at the point where I was working like 6 days a week because it was only me and him running the store because one of the other key holders had quit. And, he dragged his feet, waited like 3 months to fucking promote someone else. But I had to take a Sunday off, because I had a necessary school function to go to. This was something related to my fucking, my senior thesis, that kind of shit. So I had to take the day off. I had to go there to, talk about this shit and learn this shit. And he complained to my coworker, he better not be lying to me. Why would the school be doing something on a Sunday? It's like, what? Like, there haven't been fucking, like, football games and other sporting events on Sundays? Like, there haven't been fucking, like, tours of the school done on Sundays? Like, there hasn't been any sort of extracurricular or academic event on a Sunday at a college? That makes no fucking... They would do it in fucking high school and middle school and shit like that. Why wouldn't they do it in college? They gotta make the most of every fucking day they have, you fucking idiot. So, this isn't necessarily anything against the people he hired, for the most part at least. There are some exceptions. But his hiring history was, like, extremely hit or miss. It was either really good or a fucking train wreck. For example, one of the train wrecks, me and the other key holder warned him about hiring someone as, like, a third key holder Someone who my older sister had worked with before, and she knew firsthand how much of a fucking idiot this person was. Like, this girl had a history, and she was doing a lot of the same shit at Tuesday morning. She had a history of, like, coming in, like, really high, or not at all. And I don't mean, like, she smoked a bowl an hour or two before her shift. She was coming in, like, fucked up off Xans and shit. That's, you shouldn't do that. I don't think you should do that. But there was a time where she clocked in, like, an hour before she was supposed to actually come in, and then just fucking left to, like, go to the bank or some shit. And she had said that her boss told her to do that it would be okay. When I called him, though, he was not okay with that. He did not approve that. So she had to, like, clock out an hour early and then just work the rest of the fucking night off the clock. Because, no, that's bullshit. I mean, the whole concept of stealing time from a multi-million-dollar company is fucking bullshit. But it's just annoying to have to deal with. And stealing. She didn't just steal time. She stole other shit. And I wouldn't care normally, but I was the one who had to fucking deal with it. If she was just taking merchandise, I wouldn't fucking care. She was taking money out of the deposits and registers, though. And again, I wouldn't fucking care, but I was the one who actually had to deal with that. I had to, like, call my manager and be like, oh shit, the drawer is $15 short or some shit for some reason. And other shit like that. And before I knew that you could just take the money out of the nightly deposit and put it in the register and then just rewrite the deposit, I had to fucking go to the ATM and take out my own fucking money to level out the drawer. It was bullshit. And she stole from us, too. Fucking one of the other key holders. She smoked. And she would try to take cigarettes from her, even though she already had her own. She would try to take cigarettes from the other lady. It's like, why? You have your own, you fucking idiot. And I'm pretty fucking sure that she stole a phone charger from me. I mean, I was gonna get a new one anyway, because, like, the one end was kind of bent. But it's just that it was mine, and she fucking stole it, most likely. I can't confirm this, but I left it there one night, and then the very next day it was gone, so do the math. There was one point, he hired somebody who was still in high school, which isn't a problem normally. I don't care if you're in high school. If you can do the job good, you do the job good. But fucking, she was still in high school, and, like, that didn't really work well with the weird scheduling that the store did. It was either 11 to 3 or 3 to 7, unless, you know, inventory, truck, whatever. So she would get in, like, at the nick of time, like, right before 3, and she was a nice person, but holy fuck, she fucked up a lot. Like, there were so many nights where, like, I closed with her, and the register was just, like, off, not just by, like, a couple bucks, but, like, as much as, like, 20, 25 bucks. And again, either I had to go take out my own fucking money and put it in the register to level it out, or fuck with the deposit so everything would be level. Like, And there was one time, it was so weird, like, she was on register, and when I rung out the same shit under my numbers, it was fine. But when I rung out the shit under her, like, for some reason, when the lady kept trying to pay, it would always say, oh, it only accepts this much money. But when it was under me, it went through fine. So it's like, what the fuck? I mean, that's more on, like, the system itself than her, but it's just like, god damn, this person is just a giant fucking mess. And finally, at least for this video, because like I said, I have so much material, I'm probably going to be able to do a third one, but he had this really dumb sense of, like, self-importance regarding scheduling and people trying to get, like, time off. He would pull the whole, you know, like I said before, I live in this building. But he was always either able to take, like, a 2.5 hour break where he would, like, go home because he only lived, like, 10 minutes away and then get high and then come back stoned. Or he'd be able to, like, call somebody else in to take a half day. Like, if he and I were supposed to close, there were at least a few times that I can remember that he called a different key holder or a regular cashier to come in and close with me so he could go home. So you don't really live in the building when you're able to escape it for all these different times, dumbass. Like, with getting time off or even just, like, leaving early. If he wasn't the one leaving early or getting the time off, he would fucking complain and bitch and moan. Like, there were a few times that I asked to leave truck early, like an hour early, because it was finals or midterms or something, and I just wanted as much extra time as possible to work on my shit. You know, I didn't want to be up until fucking 3 or 4 in the morning. I already had to stay up late most nights to do my homework. I didn't need an extra 2 hours of, you know, sleep deprivation. But, he would always either be, like, visibly annoyed when I would ask, and he'd be like, yeah, fine. So, you know, so you could see he was already being a fucking little piss pot about it. Or he would like talk shit about me to other people about it. Like, oh, well, he went to his sister's that one night. Why didn't he stay home and work on shit then? It's like, because I want just one night where I can fucking unwind, you douche. Like, if you're gonna do this for like me asking 4 times a year to leave early, then go fuck yourself. Ah, my God. If he felt sick, like if he got sick, he would either like sit behind the counter and do next to nothing, or he would like shame you if you didn't cover for him. Like there was one day we were doing truck, and he was like, "Oh, I can't believe you won't stay for me." So that's like, all right, fine, I'll fucking stay. I mean, I was supposed to be the one leaving early to that day, not you. I was actually scheduled to leave at like 5:30, and he was supposed to close. But okay, I'll just stay and close. Fuck all my schoolwork. But it's like, no, you can leave early, but here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing. There was one night that I came in not feeling that great, you know? So I told him, like, look, I hope I'm better in the morning. I'm going to take some stuff when I get home. But if I wake up and, you know, I'm feeling so shitty that, like, I wouldn't go to school, I'm going to call in. And he was like, no, don't call in, don't call in. I'll bring you NyQuil and DayQuil and cough drops and all that. It's like, I mean, thank you, but I should have the ability to call in if I'm feeling like shit. If you can leave early or just like sit there and do nothing, why the fuck can't I stay home? Like fucking God, like he was such a manipulative asshole. I am so fucking glad to be out of there. And I'm also glad to be doing this because it lets me like get it out to people. And it's just like, oh, it's so nice to finally just be able to expose all the bullshit that working for this company fucking had. Alright, folks. That is part 2 of my experience working at Tuesday Morning. And like I said, I have so much fucking material from the 3 years that I worked there that I'm probably going to be doing a part 3 sometime. I'll try to space it out between like the academic projects, but I have enough material for it, so I'm probably going to do it. Again, just like with the first one, if you have any shitty retail stories or just shitty work stories in general, please feel free to put them in the comments. It's always nice to, you know, hear about this kind of stuff and get to relate to people just about how shitty these fucking jobs are. And I think that's about it. Just another reminder, be sure to ask questions for the upcoming Q&A. I am working on a big academic project, both to celebrate 1,000 subscribers. Ask me those questions, and stay tuned for the big academic project. And I think that's about it. My name is Jymee. Thank you for watching.